he built a plan. Some money in a broken land. He said, hold fast, I got your hand. Now I stand. Bitcoin love, fire in my eyes, yeah. 21 million reasons I ride. Ooh, freedom flowing through the sky, no fear, just faith and light. Cold wallets, warm hearts alive. We don't fall, we multiply. Truth don't lie and never die. Fire in my eye. Every block a beat of time, every set a spark divine. Loyal hearts and bullish minds, faith aligned. I ain't here for fame or fights, I'm here for truth that never gaps. God and Bitcoin hand in hand, that's the matter. Freedom flames can't hide this light. 21 million shining bright. But don't fade, not fear or lies. We rise. Bitcoin love, fire in my eyes, yeah. 21 million reasons I ride. Ooh, freedom flowing through the sky, no fear, just faith and light. Cold wallets, warm hearts alive. We don't fall, we multiply. Truth don't lie and never die. Fire in my eye.
We up all night just living right. Bitcoin glow in the city lights. Drawing red, that's alright. That's cool. Dips off a pint, not crying right. Feeling that rush, that faith, that fire. Stacking up hope, we climb higher. Every loss just rewire. Bitcoin nights, pure desire. Yeah, fire, run it back.
Woke up, price down, that's my cue. By the dip, that's what real ones do. Whole squad up, vibes brand new. Profits cool, but peace my view. She laugh, we toast, no stress, just glow. While the green sunsets go, from the block to the beach we roll. No fool, just flow.
Let it drop.
Still up, every fall just fuel for flight. We don't panic, we ignite. Faith and fire, day and night. Bitcoin life,
Feel right.
shine bright.
Yeah, we stacking.
We up all night just living right. Bitcoin glow in the city lights. Whoa, showing red, that's alright.
That's cool.
Dip off a buying, not crying right. Feeling that rush, that faith, that fire. Stacking up hope, we climb higher. Every loss just rewires. Bitcoin nights, pure desire.
Buy low, watch it rise. No Oh baby, let's go on vacation. Leave the stress, the situation. Golden tan, no hesitation. Love feels like salvation. Palm trees, sunset, and conversations. You're in my elation. All I need is this vibration.
Walk through storms barefoot. Whoa. Still I move like heaven stood. Shadows deep on my spirit say a million tears. Still I stand whole. I fell and I rose like sunrise on repeat. Still got glory in my heartbeat. I turn my pain into praise, even when life lost all its grace. Yeah. Run into praise. Oh, I won't let go. When the wind blew hard, I just said no. Didn't fold, didn't beg, even when hope was late. Oh, I sang through the day. You can't drown the light I hold. Oh, I'll never lose hope. Oh no, 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 no. Even when I'm breaking down slow. Oh, I dance in the fire, turned ashes into gold. Oh, every scar wrote my song apart.
You can't press me, test me, bend me, still I burn bright like dawn. No.
You can press me, test me, bend me, still I burn bright like dawn. Never lose hope. Never lose hope. Never lose.
Every no, build my ass. Every fall, talk finesse. Tears turn to melodies.
Run.
Faith made a symphony. See me rise when I shall break. See me fly when I carry weight. I'm proof that heaven's near. Every run I sing fights fear.
Remember, ooh, I pray when I bleed. Soar up too deep. Still I trust even when I can't see. Oh, didn't sing, didn't snap. Kept my crown through the trap. Oh, yeah. I'll never lose hope. The wind blows strong. You can take what I've sung. Fought through fire, still came out new. Sprint dancing, dripping true. Never folded, never froze. Still I glow like a rose. Never, never lose hope. Never lose, never lose hope when I mountains fall. When I chains break. Oh, when I see it. Fire flows. When I heaven glows.
I will never lose hope. I will never lose faith. You can break what God formed. You can drown this wave. Still I dance so. Still I rise so. Still I sing it out. I will never lose hope. I searched the world for peace of mind. Every road left me blind, but then I saw your holy light. Jesus, you opened my eyes. You spoke truth when I believed lies. You gave me wings so I could rise. Every breath a brand new life. Jesus Christ, rolled away the truth, the light, my Savior through the darkest night. No other name, no higher side. Jesus, you're my guide. When the world fades and hearts divide, you remain my only light. Forever faithful, glorified. The way, the truth, the light. Oh, when I fall, your mercy calls. Grace rebuilds my broken walls. You wash my fear in holy fire. I'm alive, I'm alive. Through the storms and pain, you are constant, you remain. Your love stronger, fire the light. You're the way, the truth, the life, my Savior through the darkest night. No other name, no higher side. Jesus, you're my guide. When the world fades and hearts divide, you remain my only light. Forever faithful, glorified. The way, the truth, the light. No more searching.
Yo, yo, yo.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
What's going on, everybody? Bitcoin Chris checking in yet again. Happy Friday. Bedhead, just woke up, bedhead. Getting ready to jump into these charts, man. I hope you guys are having a good Friday. We're going to talk about a few things here today. Of course, Bitcoin is still on sale. So let's jump into that. I'm going to make this actually much larger. Boom. And here we are. All right, we're up. We are up and at 'em. All right, so cool. Happy Friday, everybody. Big Walker's checking in yet again. It is Friday, January 16, 2026. How is it already the 16th day of January, guys? Crazy. Time is flying. Excuse me, time is flying by. All right, so here we are looking at the Bitcoin chart. We're on the daily time frame, so we're going to jump into, of course, like I always do, the Bitcoin price, the Bitcoin price, the Bitcoin price. We're at 94,800 according to Coinbase. We broke above the 20-day moving average, tested, moving up. This looks like this could be another with a little flaggy, another little flaggy here. Break down like that. Maybe come back down here and break up. So this is the daily time frame. I already have fibs set. When did I delete them? It's on a different chart. All right, so we got to zoom out here because looking at the weekly, we are at the 20-day weekly moving average, hit it exactly and rejected. So we do have these areas of support here. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if we coming down and touch 93,000 and then head higher, possibly. Again, I was looking for a discount, but as you can see here, green dot here on, or yellow dot here on December the 8th. Came down, retested support here at 84.5. 84.5, yeah, 84.5. And that's been a couple weeks, so just moving on up here slowly but surely. Money flow looks pretty good. Momentum looks pretty good. We're going to have to wait and see how this plays out today. Daily. Red dot here came down. Red dot here coming down. So it's not looking good on the daily. Wednesday at 3 o'clock, we start to head down. We've been coming down since Wednesday. And it shows in the in-market cipher especially. So be careful if you're trading. Don't over leverage if you're trading. Let's look at the 2 hour and the 1 hour. 200-day moving average on the 1 hour is 92.6. That could be your target for your downside before we head higher. I will draw the fibs again of taking them down. I do the fibs on the weekly or the daily. I'll do it on the daily. We're going to take the highest high down to the recent low, recent high to recent low. And look at that. We hit 382 and came right on down. If we go the opposite way, hopefully we don't head down lower. If we do, it's okay. We have support at 80. 80, 75 to 80 grand. And then what I'll do is I'll take the opposite way. Okay, look at that. It exactly at the 6.18. All right, so if we're gonna head down, we're gonna go down to 68. If that's the trend, which I don't think we will head down that low. But it's gonna be a excellent buying opportunity if so. So we would have obviously the supports to break through all the way down to 78, 80 grand, and then if we lose that, then we're coming down to 67, which would be the retest of the previous cycle's all-time high, and then head higher. But we already did that. See, we came up, we broke out, came back down, hit 74, bounced, came up, it's a higher low. If we do that. We could possibly come down to all these levels. I'm just looking. I don't know where we're gonna go, so I would definitely set alerts, which I already have alert here over that. Maybe if we break down below, this candle, then I would be careful if I'm trading. I'll put an alert there. So yeah, upside target is going to be 1, which is the 200-day moving average on the daily, which is 105. First target to the upside, then 108 to 110. So that is your first target on BTC to the upside. For the downside target, we do have 90, 85. 90, 85, 78, 70, 75 to 73. And if we lose 75, 73, we're coming down to 68. So we're going to have to wait and see how this plays out. And we're going to see if I'm right or wrong. And we're just going to take some time. All right, so that's BTC. Let's look at MSTR because I've seen that MicroStrategy was popping off. Excuse me. Whatever MS was, it's also pumping. What's MS? What is MS? All right, we got a crazy wick. Oh my God, that's a crazy sell-off. Wednesday, we hit a high of 190 and it came all the way back down to 178. That sold off again from 179 down to 171, and now sold off again to 168, and now we're at 173 for MicroStrategy, the same levels as what I posted the other day, which is 229. 268, 303, 330, 350. Not looking too good. On a weekly looks good. Daily doesn't look too good. That 200-day moving average is right below us on the weekly. So you have to wait and see. MicroStrategy overall target $931, which is a increase of about 430% long term. If this is going to be the bottom, we could head much lower. And if we do go lower, let's do the fibs in the opposite direction. All right, so let's go to the lows, to the highs. All right, and we have a target of $43 for. That's crazy. $43 for. We could bounce all the way up to 280. and then head all the way back down to $50, which I don't think will go down this low. But let's look left. Support is here at 90, 110, 120 to 90. If you lose that, again, next support is $50. So we're gonna have to wait and see, and especially since they're utilizing the money to buy more Bitcoin, it wouldn't surprise me one bit. No pun intended. Now let's look at 21 Capital. 21 Capital on the radar. Weekly looks good. We got two green dots, which have been changed to yellow. So yellow dots means looking pretty good. We're at $10, pretty much 9.41, almost $10. Highest overall price is almost $60, and it's a 6x, right? If we go back to highs, we're at support here, but it's just been selling off like crazy. Under the 20 and 200, you know what that means? Sell off. Shout out to Oliver. All right, so that's 21 Capital. Let's look at DXY. DXY has been pumping the last few days, last few weeks. It's okay. The dollar is getting a little, gonna get a little overextendy. Look at the weekly. Weekly looks good for the dollar, which is bad for assets. Above the 220 on the 4-hour. All right, well, we're gonna have to wait and see what the Dixie does. VIX. All right, VIX got rejected last hour, and we could come down much farther. We have red dot, so looks good. That means spot should be pumping, right? It's a good spot. Yep, good spot. All right. But these spot calls looking like all right, looking at SPY call 0 DTE, we have 686 as the high and the resistance point, but looking like we could pop some. we're gonna play a little gamble. Hourly at a dot. Yes, it is. All right. So what I'll do is I'll put an alert here. So we pumped at opening, came down, filled the gap. Now we're probably gonna run it back turbo, run it back turbo. 30 minute. Let's look at the 4 hour. We're going down on the 4 hour. Let's go to 2 hour. 4 hour. Let's look at the Qs. Q at the 220, in between the 220-day moving average. At the point of control, resistance above, support below. But it looks like it's getting ready to curl up and pop off here. Very narrow state. Shout out to Oliver. You have your narrow state, your 200 and your 20, and we're looking for a strong bar to the upside above the 220, or strong bar to the downside below the 220, and then whatever direction the 20 goes is where your stock will follow. So that's how I would look at this and wait for a play. All right, so that's QQQ. In the past 24 hours, 105,000 traders are liquidated. Okay. All right. So now we're looking at the liquidation map. We looked at this a few days ago whenever I was live, but we're going to go to the 30-day per usual. We're going to look at what's going on. We have longs to be liquidated again at 84,000, which lines up with a couple of the levels that I was talking about earlier. It's 13.5 billion. I don't think we had that low, but we can definitely come down to the 80s and 90s. 4 billion, 4 billion. Shorts, not so much. Only 2 billion, and that's only at 108. Not only, but all the way up at 108. 1 billion, 1.2 billion at 98. And hyper liquid. $12,000 Bitcoin cumulative long liquidation leverage. That's 70,000. We have 13,000 Bitcoin short liquidation leverage at 65. thousand. No, I'm not sure how to use this. What did you let me go? Here's the price of Bitcoin. So that's 110, that's 120, 140, and $271,000 for one BTC. What this is looking like. 122, 143, 271, 110, 497, 89, 82, 74, 60. Well, they got the Max Payne. Let's check out Max Payne as well. Liquidation Max Payne. I don't know why it's not loading, huh? Let's try this again. Refresh. Is that why? No doubt. What's going on here? Man, this heat map is acting stupid. All right, see, this is why I don't even mess with the heat map. It's a visualization of pretty much what we've already seen. Oh. Wow. I haven't even I wasn't sharing the screen. Wow, that's crazy. Here is the liquidation heat map. It is on the 1 month time frame, and as I said earlier, with the TA, we could come down to about 80,000. It looks like that's where the max pain is, um, to the downside. But what I'll do is I'll click on liquidation and click on liquidation max pain. These are new models of Model 3. I like a lot. Let's go down to 1 month. And let's see what this says. This is all new data. I haven't been on CoinGlass in a minute, so here we are on CoinGlass.com, and I'll go back and show you guys the liquidation levels again. So I apologize for that. All right, so now we're looking at max pain for BTC on the 1 month. It says short max pain is going to be 98,000. Apparently, according to this, long max pain is 86,000. All right, so it says over the month, but I feel like it's more than that. All right, so let's go back to liquidation. Liquidations. All right, here's what I was talking about earlier, guys. 84,000, which plays right in line with everything that we're seeing on the heat map, and also the fibs that I just drew. So we have 13.53 billion to be possibly liquidated at 84,000. Seeing that most people don't have stop losses and are degenerates, this is definitely possible. Now we also have shorts to be liquidated at 108, but it's only 2.67 billion. So based on common sense, right? If 13 billion is more than 2 billion, so they're going to run it, in my opinion, they're going to run it down lower first, and then we can head higher. But we're going to have to wait and see, right? So that's what I would assume based on the data. That would be my educated guess. And then I was talking about this, is what I was saying. 104.98, 110, 121, 143, 259. So these are like, I guess, the levels that a lot of people, some people are just short. Now, I don't know how to read this hyperliquid map, so I've been trying to understand cumulative short leverage, cumulative long liquidation leverage, short and long current price. All right, so that's that. Let's jump into what do we really want to talk about today, huh? And dips are for buying, not crying, right? All right, enough about the charts. I want to talk about how I can help you if you decide, or if you want help, right? If you need help, right? So we'll jump into that now. Hopefully, we'll have King Bao on the live stream with us sometime soon. But if not, that's okay. But a lot of you guys should know by now, we've been talking about the law. We've been talking about how you're supposed to know the law. And if you don't know the law, that's when you get abused, right? If you don't know your rights, you don't have any rights, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and play some new music until I'll play some new music. It's already been 48 minutes. I've been on the live stream. Damn, time is flying. All right, so 48 minutes in, we're going to talk about your rights. We're going to talk about a few things that I'm offering as services to help you guys out. And I'll be back after this jam. All right. Actually, we're going to play two jams. We're going to play Bitcoin Love and we're going to play Bad Man. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'll be back. But first, make sure the audio is working. Yes, it is. Cool. You guys enjoy this jam. I'll be right back.
Bitcoin love it never fade. We build trust in every trade. You my coin, I got you safe. Coastal hard in a fireplace. Bitcoin love that crypto flame. You the code that run my brain. We don't crash, we just gain. Digital are real change. You shine when market low. Ride with me when a candle blow. Credit clean, now I balance glow. Bitcoin, baby, that's all I know. We stand love like the toast she does. Never doubt, just faith and trust. What they spend, we building a just. Forever, coin is us of us. Got a private key to your vibe. In a blockchain of my mind. Every ledger line you sign. We eternal, we align. Gonna flow with a Uzi, every beat like Kingdom Come. They trade us, we trade up. Crypto kiss in the rising sun. No bank can hold this love. God coded what we're made of. Forever fire, dead of blood. Bitcoin, baby, that's us. Bitcoin love never fade. We build trust in every trade. You my coin, I got you safe. Coastal hard in a fireplace. Bitcoin love that crypto flame. You the code that run my brain. We don't crash, we just gain. Digital hard real change. You the light in my ledger line. money in a time. Love so pure, it's verified. Love so pure, it's verified. Love so pure, it's verified. You were way too certain. Man, I'm stacking. Feeling like $1 billion, so yeah. Couldn't give $1 billion fucks, no I all got a stack in my bank, yeah. So now you stacking, yeah. Pull up in that, I bet you that shit coming in, yeah. You can't wait, he's like, yeah. Only need a crib for the dollar bill, dollar bill. I done took the orange pill, took it, I'm taking, I'm going, yeah. Ooh, baby, jumping low key. Oh yeah. Ooh, you know that I'm a bad man. Girl, I know you want it bad, but I'm a bad man. Baby, jumping low key. Baby, jumping low key. Ooh, you know that I'm a bad man. Girl, you messing with a bad man. I'm a bad man, yeah. I love it when you drop it low. Bring it up fast, make it bounce around, baby, yeah, so baby, yeah. Girl, you thinking about it, come to me, run to me. The way you do it, girl, you so professional. I bet that she coming, yeah. Yeah, I'm stacking, I'm getting, yeah. Only need for the dollar bill, dollar bill. I done took the orange pill, took it, I'm taking, I'm going, yeah. Ooh, baby, jumping low key. Oh yeah. Ooh, you know that I'm a bad man. Girl, if you want it bad, I'm a bad man. Baby, jumping low key. Baby, jumping low key. Ooh, you know that I'm a bad man. Girl, you messing with a bad man, but I'm a bad man, yeah.
All right, all right, all right. So what we're gonna dive into here before we end today's live stream is that we're gonna talk about. We're just gonna talk about how I can help you out. One of the cases is that I wanted to talk about is Trezevant versus Tampa, and because this is a actual, you know, you got to double check, especially if you use any LLM language models, large language models, such as ChatGPT, Claude, Manus, etc., etc. So what we're going to do is this, right? We're going to start a new task, and we're going to come over to Manus. No. All right, so I was supposed to hit chat. It's supposed to be a little chat mode, but I didn't hit chat. All right, cool. So basically, what I want to, man, I don't want you to really dig into shit. Right, go ahead, bro. Basically, Trezevant versus Tampa, the city of Tampa. They arrested him, right, and they put him in jail. I think he was in jail for like 23 minutes, and so he got 20. I'll wait till it pops up because I don't want to misspeak. Basically, if you're unlawfully arrested, um, right? If you're unlawfully arrested, you can utilize this actual case to get money for your unlawful arrest. What happens typically is that a lot of us get pulled over by cops. You talk too much. You're supposed to not say a word. You also give too much information. Oh my God. Why is it taking so long? No, I just wanted to do a little chat. I want to stop it now. I already done paid. I already done paid for it. I already done paid for the credits. So being wrongfully incarcerated for a civil rights violation, right? Boom. The jury awarded him $25,000 for 23 minutes. Is what happened. All right. So the reason why this is important is because a lot of you guys don't know that you have rights because you guys act like the law and you act like the cops and you act like everybody that you hear on TV knows what they're talking about, or they interpret things in a separate or a different way. So you guys know I've been dealing with a lot of cases. I've been reading a lot. I've been studying a lot. So one of the reason why this case is important is if you're wrongfully incarcerated for especially for a traffic infraction, and wrongfully incarcerated for a civil traffic infraction violation after posting a bond violating his rights, the jury awarded him 25,000. He was only in jail for about 23 minutes. So what you can do is, because this is a Supreme Court ruling, if you get unlawfully arrested or wrongfully incarcerated, you're able to utilize this. This is what they're going to. This is how you can make the claim for however long you were unlawfully arrested. Right. So if you were unlawfully arrested for 8 hours, for an example, then you would do 23 minutes divided by $25,000, and that would be $1,000, basically $1,087 a minute. $1,087 a minute times 60 equals 65,000. And then you do that times 8. Why did it take you so long to do that? Manus is good. I like Claude. I like chat. Probably should have used chat, but I was just gonna ask Manus through the questionnaire, through the chat mode, but instead I went to agent mode, which is wasting credits, but it's all good. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. All right, so let's see what Manus brought up first to explain to you guys, right? So, boom, on April 23rd, 1979, this was a while ago, 1979, a man named James C. Tresident was driving to work in Tampa, Florida. He got pulled over by a police officer named, we'll call him E, and was given a traffic ticket for reckless driving. In Florida, when you get a traffic ticket, you have two choices: sign the ticket, which is a promise to show up in court later, or post a cash bond, pay some money to guarantee that you'll appear in court. Tresident chose option 2. He wanted to post a bond. He had the cash on him and was ready to pay. Here's where things went wrong. Instead of them allowing him to simply pay the bond and go on his way, the police officers, which is what happens way too often, they take advantage of your ignorance, or they just don't care about the law. Or matter of fact, they don't even know the law. Obviously, not all police officers. They don't know the law. So, police officer took him to the central booking facility, the same place where people who are actually arrested for crimes and get processed. The officer frisked him, took him through the entrance used for criminals, and handed him over to jail staff. The jail staff then took away his valuables, his belt, his shoes. If you guys have been arrested, then you know when you go in, they take your shoes, they get your fingerprints, they do all that good stuff, right? They get your fingerprints, they take off all your clothes, make you, yeah, you're in jail. So they locked him up in a holding cell with people who are under arrest for actual crimes. They never told him being locked up. They never let him call a lawyer. They ignored his cry for help when he experienced severe back pain. He was locked up for 23 minutes. So they did all of that to lock him up for 23 minutes for a traffic crime, which I'm trying to let you guys understand that, if you get a traffic infractions are not crimes, but because you don't know better, this is what they do to you. They take advantage of your ignorance. Just like the banks don't know that you're not capable of handling your accounts. And they make you repay something that's already been prepaid. But that's for another point, another story, another live. Why was this wrong? The point is, Mr. Tresident was never under arrest. He was only there to pay a bond for the traffic ticket, a civil infraction, not a crime. There was absolutely no legal reason to put him in a jail cell. The officer admitted he never arrested Mr. Tresident, yet the system treated him like a criminal anyway. So what did he do? He sued the city of Tampa and the Hillsborough Board of Criminal Justice under 42 USC 1983, which is deprivation of rights under the color of law. And you guys need to understand and read a lot. I know a lot of people don't have time to read, but you want to make some time to read. It's a federal law that allows people to sue the government when their civil rights are violated, because they do it under the color of law, which is not the actual law, because the law of the land is the United States Constitution. But if you're I'm going to digress on that. His argument: they violated his constitutional rights to liberty by locking him up without any legal justification, which is funny because I'm going to be doing the same exact thing, right? I did get arrested as well, not too long ago, and I was incarcerated for 8 hours. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the same Um, I'm going to use this as an outline for me to get rewarded, right? And I'm going to sue the city of Ocoee, um, and the officers in their official and individual capacity, right? So it's all good, guys. When you stand up for your rights, you gotta stand up for your rights, guys. The jury agreed that Mr. Treasurer and agreed with him and awarded him $25,000 in damages for just 23 minutes of wrongful incarceration. What the appeal court say? The city of Tampa and the jail appealed, arguing that that wasn't enough evidence to support the verdict. The $25,000 was award was excessive for only 23 minutes. The 11th Circuit Court of Appeals rejected both arguments and upheld the verdict. The court found that the wrongful incarceration was caused by an official government policy, because you guys like to think that policies are laws, and the way system was set up caused it to happen. Both the city and the jail were responsible because they had no proper procedure in place for people who were simply wanting to place the bond. So the $25,000 was not excessive. It compensated Mr. Treasurer for the incarceration itself, his back pain that was ignored, and mental anguish that he suffered. Why does this case matter? It established an important principle. You cannot be jailed even for a short time without proper legal authority. When a government agency has policy and procedures that lead to unconstitutional treatment of citizens, those agencies are held financially liable. The case is often cited on how courts value personal liberty, even 23 minutes of wrongful imprisonment is worth $25,084, which would be way more in today's uh, cost because of inflation, right? All right, we're going to do this last question and then we'll be done. What would $25,000 in damages be in 1984 equivalent to $2026, right? Boom. So the reason I'm saying this is because a lot of us get in trouble with traffic tickets, like mere traffic tickets that are not, these are not crimes for you to go to jail for. Okay, and a lot of us do get incarcerated, and a lot of us do get in trouble, and a lot of us don't know how to handle it. So what I've done is I've made sure to do my research. I've made sure to learn. I've learned how to sue. I learned how to fight court tickets or traffic tickets. I learned how to uh, create proper documentation, such as affidavits, how to create an injunction, create a lawsuit, create a demand for injunctive relief, create a administrative process, learning about equity, learning about the taxes, learning about these bonds. There's a lot of things that we just do not know that they do to us, which is absolutely mind-boggling. So I'm waiting to see how much this is here. 25,000 worth in 1984 is how much? All right, cool. Here it is, guys. Inflation adjusted value of 25,000 in 1984 to 2026. 25,000 in damages from the 1984 Treasury versus Tampa decision will be equivalent to approximately 77,000, and we'll just pretty much say 78,000, just to round it up. Increase of $52,000, almost $53,000, up 211%. Mr. Treasurer was nearly awarded 78,000 in today's money for wrongfully being held in jail for just 23 minutes. That works out legally to about $3,391 per minute of unlawful incarceration and $2026. This remains a powerful example because this is how courts view personal liability and hold government agencies accountable when their policies violate citizens' constitutional rights. So it's very important for you to understand that you have rights, and that if they are violated, you need to do and take the proper steps to assert your rights and to file a lawsuit, because it's all about paperwork. It's about fraud, and you need to know the procedures. You know a lot of different things. So what I'm been able to do is I've been able to successfully get cases dismissed, win lawsuits, etc. Obviously, fix credit and get business credit, along with a few other things that I'm offering as services to people that want to better themselves or opt out or fight these traffic tickets or if you've been wrongfully arrested or you have any. Now again, the key word here is wrongfully. If you committed a crime, then you can't this doesn't apply to you, right? Because you committed a crime. But if you did not commit a crime, and traffic violations are not crimes, we have people versus battle, which I'll go ahead and look that up right now. Let's see if we can use what will we use. Let's see if we can use Gemini. All right, so boom, let's go to Gemini. It was all right, people versus battle. Here it is. Traffic infraction versus crimes. The court ruled that an infraction is not a crime and in the same sense as a felony, or misdemeanor. Therefore, his conviction of a traffic infraction did not prevent the state from later prosecuting him for a more serious charge of manslaughter, regardless of what happened. Uh, I guess the defendant was involved. I didn't even know he was involved in crimes, and I just knew that the actual ruling was that traffic infractions are not crimes. But what happened is the defendant was involved in a car accident where 3 people died. He was first charged with a simple traffic infraction, bad brakes, and pleaded no contest. Later, the state tried to charge him with 3 counts of manslaughter, which I'm not saying that's wrong or right, but the point of this actual case is that the court ruled that traffic infractions are not crimes. So let me copy that and send this. How do the courts across the country use All right, so how do the courts across the country use their rulings in other states to help provide context and the laws or rules that the court that say the courts must rule in the same way? Okay, so here courts are not generally not required to rule in the same way as another court in the state, but they often do to maintain consistency and logic. I mean, that would be common sense to me, right? Why would you rule a different way in a different state versus another state, right? I don't. I mean, it doesn't make sense to rule a different way when the rule of law should be applied the same way across the board. And that's just my way of thinking. To understand how one state views another, you have to distinguish between these two types of authority: mandatory, binding authority. The law. This is the law a court must follow for state trial. Mandatory authority includes statutes of its own state and the rulings of its state in or and the rulings of its state's Supreme Court. This is the law the court may follow, but is not required to. Ruling from other states fall into this category, which is persuasive authority. If a judge in Florida is facing a brand new legal issue, a case of first impression, and finds that the Supreme Court of California already solved a similar problem with a very logical explanation, the Florida judge might adopt that same reasoning. Why courts look at other states? While not forced to follow other states' courts, they use out-of-state rulings for several reasons. Uniformity in areas like business or contract law is helpful to have the same rules that are similar across the country. Many states adopt uniform acts like the Uniform Commercial Code to ensure this. The weight of authority. If 40 out of 50 states have ruled one way on an issue, a judge is in the 41st state will be very hesitant to rule differently unless there's a very strong reason to do so. Borrowing statutes. I'm not talking about statutes. Sometimes one state copies one law from another state. When they do this, they often look to the original state court rulings to understand how to interpret the law. Supremacy clause, and this is the final bout. Supremacy clause is the rule that creates a pecking order for laws in the state. It states that the constitutional and federal laws are the supreme law of the land. All right, how it works in practice: conflict. If a state law and a federal law conflict, the federal law wins every time. For example, if a state tried to pass a law saying that it didn't have to follow federal environment regulation, the supremacy clause would make that state law invalid. Uh, Sometimes the federal government occupies in the field a certain area, aviation, power, nuclear power. In some cases, the supremacy clause prevents states from passing any laws in that area, even if they don't directly conflict with federal law. Binding on judges, the clause specifically says that the judges in every state shall be bound thereby, which means the judge must prioritize federal law and the U.S. Constitution over their own state laws if there is a clash. And every state shall be bound thereby, and the judges in every state are bound thereby. A state trial, if you are in a state trial court, your state Supreme Court and U.S. Supreme Court, you may look at other courts, a state Supreme Court, U.S. Supreme Court on federal issues, other Supreme Courts, a federal court, U.S. Supreme Court. Boom. The point is, learn your rights. Get your info. Get the data that you need. I would highly recommend that you, if you need help with any legal issues, it's not legal advice, lawful awareness. If you need any help with traffic tickets, credit restoration, if you need help suing the bank or suing the credit agencies, or if you're being sued by a debt collector and you need to get them off of you, guess what? I've successfully done all that. So if you need help with all these things, any of these things, go ahead and go to pws.card.com, but I'm going to go ahead and what I'll do is I'll put the link underneath this live stream and in the link in the YouTube channel, or you just send me a DM and say, hey, I have a lawsuit, ready to go. Um, I don't want to have to pay this debt collector, because you don't really have to pay. If you don't want to pay, you really don't have to pay lawfully. That's why they have the FDCPA, which protects you from unfair uh, debt collection and practices, because they already knew, which is why they passed the FDCPA, which is why it's a federal law about these scamming, debt collectors. So I would definitely just look up a couple of things that I already looked up for you guys, which is the FDCPA, and I posted it. I mean, if you guys just read these things, I mean, it gives you the remedy. They give you everything that you need in the law. You just gotta read it. Um, if a consumer notifies a debt collector in writing that the consumer refuses to pay a debt, or that the consumer wishes the debt collector to cease further communication with the consumer, the debt collector shall not communicate further with the consumer with respect to the debt, except for to advise the consumer that the collector efforts are being terminated, to notify the customer that the debt collector may invoke special remedies which are ordinarily invoked by debt collectors, or where applicable, to notify the customer of the debt collector intends to invoke a specific remedy. Boom. So they're not supposed to. Once you tell them to cease communication, they're supposed to stop, right? And if they contact you again, that's against the law. There's one more. One more I want to show you guys, and then I'm up out of here. And this is gonna be this is your remedy, right? This is your remedy, guys. Any debt collector who brings a legal action on a debt collector against any consumer shall. It gives you all these things, right? And then it says B. What gives them the authorization? If you don't get anything, this entire chat, this entire live stream, you better get this. Nothing in this subchapter shall be construed to authorize the bringing of legal actions by debt collectors. Nothing in this subchapter shall be construed to authorize the bringing of legal actions against by any debt collector. Sorry, by a debt collector. Bring up any legal actions. Bringing of legal actions by debt collectors. With that being said, Bitcoin Chris checking out. Hope you guys have a good day. I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully I'll be live. Oh my god, I'm not even sharing the screen. Oh, there it is. FTC.gov. FTCPA. Alright? Go look it up. With that being said, Bitcoin Chris checking out. Just want to hop on here. Happy Friday, guys. Make sure you go check out my new music, and I'll be trying to stream a little bit more, try to help you guys out, bring some more info for you guys, bring some more data, try to share, and help you guys get out of this rat race. All right.